The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
What is happening? It is Friday. I'm hanging out, having a good time, chilling. It's rainy. I was hoping for snow, but it ain't gonna happen. We're having a good time. Joining me, as always, my left-hand man, the author, David Applegate.
G'day, friends and fans. Welcome to another Men's Room. Don't mess with Texas. F-O-F-I. Oh.
Yeah. It's gonna be a rough. It's gonna be a wild night. Joining me all the way from the mysterious unknown, the Anime Knight.
Hello, everybody. Hope you all are doing wonderful on this wonderful Friday. We are back and at full health and full strength.
Yay.
Yeah, speaking of which, I got my PC all sealed up and everything.
Yay.
I put extra vent covers because I was getting pissed off, and I'm like, you know what, we're gonna do this. It took us 3 hours to put it on. Like, we had to go through each section of the PC just to make sure we got each strip in. Hopefully I could get better ones, but this is only a temporary solution.
Yeah.
But so far, it's operating just fine. No overheating issues, thankfully.
Oh, thankfully.
Sweet. Well,
actually, there was an entire nest of them, like underneath the on the motherboard, like at the bottom part. And then when we removed it, and then when we removed the other side, there was a bigger nest of them, like on the board over here. And we're like, and we pulled out the stuff. We're like, hi. And we just went to town spraying. But it's clean, though, so we're good.
Those are called gays.
Uh-oh. What music are you thinking of there?
well, I just was like, I didn't realize the music was over, and I was like, oh crap. But if you're seeing our the name for tonight, don't mess with Texas. Texas and Supreme Court are going at it. Apparently there was some papers filing about the border, and I think Texas has had enough.
Texas wants to. Weren't they trying to sue Joe for negligence or some sort of, something? Trying to get him to get off his ass and actually do something.
Yeah.
But I mean, even some people on the left are really upset now because, like, they're flooding these people into obviously low housing and low income areas.
Yeah.
And they kicked 2,000 kids out of school in New York, and like,
well, I was trying to find what was going on. Oh, and apparently a reporter asked Hunter Biden, "What kind of crack do you normally smoke?" Yeah, that was pretty good.
I heard about that.
Maybe it's on my other profile that I saw that and shared it. On Twitter. Yeah, dude. Apparently, yeah. No. Where in the world is it? Oh well. Apparently, the Supreme Court is tired of Texas trying to take a stand and actually doing border security. And Texas is saying, hey, we're tired of you guys not doing anything about the border crisis.
Yeah.
We're going to do something about it.
There's been so much back and forth. I mean, they tried to remove they tried an end game to stop the lawsuits by Texas by removing Ken Paxton, right?
Right.
And that was a Dem donor pretending to be a Republican donor, which happens far too often, doing some shenanigans with some money, right? And then getting in through another name and another business to do some work for him, and then say, "Oh, there was corruption," when it was all set up. But how often does that happen, right?
Yeah.
Far too often. Far too often. Ray Epps got no jail time. $500 fine.
Well, what's wrong?
What's wrong, every night?
Oh, nothing. My brain's just processing.
David,
Like,
what were you?
Right.
You were saying something about Ray Epps.
Ray Epps, as you know, was expected to be jailed for his call to arms on the day before, January 6th, and yet he only got a $500 fine for inciting a crowd.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And everybody,
like a year probation? That's kind of bull crap.
Yeah. There are people who didn't even go inside who are now facing 20 years.
Yeah.
There's a massive amount of people are trying to raise money for appeals, and he just skates on thin ice and just basically tells the judge he cooperated. And the thing is, the prosecutor said he cooperated before and after January 6th. So, yeah, I'll just let you find a button there to push if you had one.
Sorry, hang on. I'm sharing out links and stuff on Twitch.
Yeah.
What were you saying? What button am I looking for?
Allegedly, he told the judge that he was cooperating with the FBI.
Allegedly. Sorry.
That's the one. Yeah. So, yeah, he's one of those civilian assets. I know all about them. They do this all the time. Federal agencies, when they can't do something, they find some chump somewhere to basically do your patriotic duty or else.
Yeah.
And when they get arrested, they give you a slap on the wrist and send you on your way. And usually, let's see, Patriot Front.
Like you can't arrest me. I'm going back to Washington D.C. I gotta meet with Senator LBJ. Fuck you, cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody knew LBJ was not legally elected, and yet nobody did a thing about it.
Because he had so much. He had so much influence and the money, and he had his neighbor, J. Edgar Hoover, in his really back pocket. How do you beat those odds?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, he was caught. There's actually a film of him and McNamara planning the Vietnam War so that they could profit off the sale of trucks to the army.
Texas. This just in. It says developing. Texas National Guard denies access to United States Border Patrol agents at Shelby Park. Current posture is to restrict access to organization that perpetuate illegal immigrant crossing. Whoa!
Yeah. Border agents haven't been patrolling the border; they've been letting people in and taking them straight to buses and processing centers.
Apparently, there was another airstrike in Yemen.
Yep. Houthis have been attacking ships.
I heard about that yesterday, I think.
I don't care which side you're on. That involving civilians is a fucking crime, and they deserve to get pounded for it.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy.
This shows you how much hatred there is in the world and why you shouldn't have open borders and why Trump promised to the biggest mass deportation program has all the liberals scared because they want chaos. They want destruction. They want collapse.
With chaos comes the ability to just to sweep things under the rug. You can't get away with things if there's nothing to focus on.
Exactly.
Or the people have money and mobility.
Yeah.
If you have free time on your hands, you can start investigating things, paying attention more, getting out and protest. So what do? Destroy the economy, have you groveling in the dirt or struggling for life or doing 3 jobs while they eat the caviar and tell you to eat bugs.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And it's like, also, all New Yorkers, this is your mayor speaking. I am requesting all of you open your extra rooms to the migrants.
Yeah.
What extra rooms? What extra rooms?
I'm like, you're overstepping. You're overstepping, Mayor. You're
He's the one with 48
overstepping.
Rooms. He's the one with 48 rooms in Gracie.
And apparently they're out of rooms. They're using schools. They're sending kids home from school and letting illegals stay in schools.
Yeah, because the tents are unsafe.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You were told.
I would pull my kid. I would pull my kid out of that school. Be like the hell with you people.
Nah. New York has nothing. Maine is building them apartments and giving them 2 years free rent. I thought it was only 6 weeks until processing.
Yeah. So
they're not going to deport people after 6 weeks if they haven't shown up. They're giving them free rent for 2 years in apartments and assistance to find work. But don't worry, replacement's a conspiracy theory. They're not replacing workers. No, with cheap labor. No, it's a conspiracy theory. Shut up and eat your bugs.
Yeah. Shut up and eat your bugs.
Yeah, it's scary. It's like, okay, Mayor, you have really, really gone downhill.
It's gaslighting. It's gaslighting, and
no one's gonna fucking listen. They're not because the house, your average householder, the minute a migrant steps on their fucking lawn illegally, mind you, they're gonna open fire. They're gonna literally open fire.
Yeah, they'll turn a blind eye when it's hurting someone else.
You're begging to get shot. You're just begging it at this point. Like, please, America, kill me. I am trespassing on your property. Mayor's orders.
Look, yeah.
You need a warrant for that. You need proof of that.
There is going to be a rise in vigilantism like you have not seen the likes of. It's already been happening for the last 2 years. And ironically, who's been arming themselves? Hollywood. Danny Matheson was caught, right? You remember Danny Matheson from that 70s show? The one who was arrested for abusing women, drugging and abusing women.
Was that Hyde?
Hyde.
Yeah.
Hyde.
Oh yes. Okay.
That was the character name. I forget his real name.
Yeah, Hyde. Hyde was for 10 years supplying Hollywood with illegal modified handguns. That's the allegation. So while they're telling you that you can't protect yourself, they've been supplying illegally modified handguns. Now, I don't know
Danny Masterson.
But I believe it involved heavy handguns having a higher rate of fire. So basically, you could just go easy pull triggers, basically on a Colt Python, you know, so that they can unload basically a couple of 50 cals into an intruder who most likely they left the door open so they'll wander in, so a homeless man can wander in, just so they can go bang and get away with it.
Yep.
But apparently, this
Yeah.
has been going
According
on for
to
10
this
years.
evidence, I don't know, Judge. I don't have any evidence. The guy finally kicked my door in. Objection. We have proof that the door was left open. Where's your evidence?
Your door.
No.
Oh, Google gave it to us. Your ring data.
Yep, your ring, the
Agreements
Google
given to the
ring
government.
button,
Yeah, exactly.
and then it goes up, and then there's nothing
Yeah,
for 20 minutes.
but he's
And
now
then-
facing 60 years in prison for flying illegally modified handguns and possession of illegal modified handguns. But it'd be like the FC client list. It's empty, you know. Who are your clients? Hide. It's an empty.
Yeah,
sheet,
that's true. And speaking of that list, has any other names come out?
Apparently, James Gunn is rumored on there.
Oh,
He came out of the
Richard Branson has been.
he came
Richard
out of the
Branson.
woodwork.
Yeah, Richard Branson has been confirmed. Also, Oprah, her plane apparently went to the island 11 times.
Dang.
And there's also allegations that there's a tape of Bill Clinton that's in circulation, and a tape of Jeffrey Epstein talking to lawyers in 2016 or 2014.
Dang.
Apparently, he made a tape.
This is not going to go away. There's too
No.
much. There's too much going on. They can't. They're running out. They've run out of options, because it's like there is no way you can cover this up in one fell swoop. There is no way.
Remember Aaron recently? I forget his name. Aaron, the footballer who called out Jimmy Kimmel.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers called out Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel went up and called Aaron Rodgers a whole bunch, a retard, and a whole bunch of other names. Right?
They get mad at us when we say that stuff. They get mad at us.
Yeah, and they cheer when they say it, you know, because they're not phobic. They're being stunning and brave, you know.
Yeah.
But Aaron Rodgers responded by pointing out the fact that Jimmy Kimmel was invested in the restaurant of Epstein's chef in New York. I mean, like over invested in a restaurant, like massively invested above and beyond what a normal investment. I mean, he's eating there often. He's pouring money into it all the time. You wouldn't be on a list if you weren't. You wouldn't be on a list if you weren't handing out guilt money, right?
Because
nobody makes money on restaurants.
Jimmy Kimmel is a loudmouth bully.
Yeah.
He is speaking way too loud, and it's not helping in this case. It's not.
No, he thinks he's protected.
No, he's not. Because if he didn't open his fucking mouth and played it off, like laughed at it, like, that list is fake, walked away, he kept his mouth shut, he would be fine.
That list is real. But what we know is that there's three lists, okay? There's a list for the jet from New York to Florida. There's a list for the jet from Texas to New York, right? Or is it Arizona? It was one of the two. And the third one is the small jet which flew from Florida to Epstein Island. And that is the list Jimmy Kimmel was going to be worried about. Because I think he was a +1, and if they figure out, if they get one person to talk on that flight, that's what this private prosecution is all about. I think there's a private prosecution coming up. One of the law, because we've only heard of 2 of the 6 lawsuits, right?
I think so.
Those other cases are going to name Branson and Clinton, and they're going to start going after all the +1s who they brought as guests.
what do you think Ghislaine should do now that this is happening? What do you think, David?
I
What
think
are her
Ghislaine's silent because she's under orders from the Mossad to stay silent. Because ultimately, who's been the biggest beneficiary of the alleged money laundering scheme? A particular country right now who a lot of people have been upset at for the last 50 years, at least.
Oh dear, that ain't good.
And remember, how did the Kennedys go from millionaires to billionaires? Well, they sold arms to a certain country.
Yeah. Played double sides of the war.
Yeah.
So did Donald Trump come out with a vice president?
That's the allegation, that he named a vice president, but it was cut off.
Oh.
I haven't seen the interview. I think it's on YouTube yet.
I wonder if it's on Truth.
Yeah.
Well,
he did name one. It should be on Truth.
I'm hoping it's somebody that he can trust this time. And
there's been an allegation against VNEC that he is a Soros plant and a used car salesman. That he says all the right things to be Donald Trump's VP, but he has, when he started in politics, he took Soros money and was a WEF attendee. So,
hello, Iowa. This is your favorite president, and we're going to make America great again. I'm leaving very shortly for your beautiful state. I love that state. I love the people in the state. I'll get there sometime around Saturday night or something. One way or the other, I'm getting there. You have the worst weather, I guess, in recorded history, but maybe that's good because our people are more committed than anybody else. So maybe it's actually a good thing for us. But we have to make sure we caucus on Monday, 6:30, get there a half hour before the 7 o'clock bell. And we're going to do something that's really special. We're going to start with you, and then we're going to turn our country around, and it's going to be amazing. And I'll get to see you on Sunday and Monday and maybe Saturday night late. It's going to be a little bit of a trek. Nobody knows how exactly we're going to get there, but we're going to figure it out. And we wouldn't miss it for anything. So we have record cold weather, record snowfall, record everything, but we will not miss it. So maybe Saturday night. We don't know what time. We have no idea. We'll see you on Sunday. We'll see you on Monday. I'm going to be helping you with the caucus, and I look forward to it. And we're going to have a great victory, and we're going to beat the crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country. Not even a contest. You can take, as I often say, the 10 worst, add them up. They're not as bad. They haven't done the damage that this man has done to our country. So we're going to make America great again. I'll see you on Sunday. I'm going to see you on Monday, and I'm going to be with you 7 o'clock, but get there at 6:30, and we're going to caucus, and we're going to do great. Thank you. See you then.
I thought that was that was just put out 2 hours ago.
So, no, he hasn't named a VP yet. That's just...
No, I don't guess so.
Yeah, there's a lot of clickbait.
He's probably waiting. He's probably waiting until his people get back with him on it.
Yeah.
He's waiting. I mean,
according to Iowa Republican Caucus, Trump's at 51, DeSantis is 17, Haley 17, and Ramaswamy 7.
Yeah, and wasn't Nikki expected to quit?
I don't know, maybe.
You heard Chrissy's hot mic moment, right? Saying that she's done, she's finished. She has that, you know.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
What happened?
Chrissy was talking about Nikki Haley after he announced he was out, and saying that she'll be next. That she hasn't got the energy, or the charisma, or the support.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? I may be out, but I'm gonna drop something. I'm gonna drop a bomb, and he did on a hot mic too. It's like,
he knew that there's no such thing as a hot mic. If you don't clear the room before you speak, you're you're asking to be recorded.
Well, I
Yep.
mean, hot mics happen.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't clear the room, so
What do you mean?
he knew somebody was holding up a phone. It was in his peripheral vision. So he didn't clear the room before answering a private question about who's next.
And
Hostile.
unfortunately, Neocon Shapiro is ignoring Ramaswamy and is just looking at 3 people.
Well, because he wants Nikki Haley, because she's willing to go down on him like a cheap hooker, basically.
Yeah.
Because that's what she is. That's she's an
And that's
actress.
what Ben Shapiro is. He's a fucking neocon. These people are a lot worse than anything.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Well, you got the dinos, you got the rhinos, and you got the neocons. 3 of the worst people.
No, he's the worst type of neocon. Yeah.
Christy,
Right.
Christy giving a speech about dropping out. He's supporting Nikki. Then he's caught on a hot mic saying she's washed up and there's no way she can hang in there.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yep.
Yeah. That shows you what a two-faced rat he is.
Yeah. I think it's funny. Apparently the Texas National Guard's done taken over Shelby Park in
Border
Texas.
control, yeah. Good.
They've restricted border control from entering the area.
But you know what's happened in Texas, don't you?
What?
The largest ethnic group is they've announced that you know how they haven't been announcing the census figures for ages? Well, there's been a leak on the census that Latinos make up 60% of the Texas population.
Mm.
Yeah, I really see given everything going right now, we're at the beginning stages right now, and it's going to get a lot worse because I know that they're gonna pull every trick in the book to force Ramaswamy to quit, and then it's just gonna come down to DeSantis and Haley.
Well, get this. Justice Democrats want Nikki Haley. What does that tell you about the people who want to turn America? What does that tell you? They've abandoned Joe for a start. These are the people who's up until a week ago were supporting Kamala to take over. And yet they dropped $1 million on Haley.
For Joe's sake, it's gonna be a crappy miracle if he even makes it to November.
I don't think he will.
I mean, I want nothing bad happening to him, but his chances of getting there are like dwindling each day this goes, it's going further and further. Heck, I think it broke the bottom of the graph. I think it broke through. Honestly, there's no coming back.
Honestly, when he's giving speeches and they don't show the audience, I doubt there's an audience. I mean, absolutely doubt there's anybody.
That's hilarious.
I highly doubt there is even an audience.
I think it's all highly doubt.
Yep. And it's only the people that his handlers can phone in. Like, hi, such and such from the Crap News Network. Hi, yes, here are the approved questions that we're giving you. Ask him.
You never look. How many times even in a White House briefing? How many times when somebody asks a question, there's always a camera sweeping to who's asking the question. Yet lately, when Joe is doing a so-called presser, there's been none of that. They've changed all the protocols on showing the audience, the asking of the questions. Half the time he just walks off the stage without even saying he's not going to answer. He just walks off the stage. He's mumbling now more than
he'll either walk off the stage or his nanny Jill's like, "Come on, Joe, this way, old man, this way, Miss." Yes, there you go. Have your ice cream. It is sad how this is happening. It's like if I were another country and I see America's president being led out by his wife in that manner, I would be laughing my ass off. I would be laughing so hard in embarrassment. Like, I'm doing business with this guy. It makes you wonder.
I don't know if this is true or not, but there's an allegation that the Russian money behind Facebook is also supporting Joe, and he's a big he's a big anti-Putin guy, and he's the real money behind Zelensky. And get this, Putin put out an arrest warrant for him for tax evasion, right? And he fled to the West with tens of billions of dollars. He's living in Switzerland, right? And he actually admits that he swindled the Russian government on oil deals for over 20 years while a communist official built up billions of dollars, well, rubles, rigged. Get this, you know how when the Soviet Union broke up, they put all the state assets up for auction. He was the guy in charge of the auction and bought the Russian oil company for $500 million when it was valued at $3.4 billion.
Exactly.
And he's one of 10 oligarchs that are running around right now with special privilege visas from Joe because of the Russian sanctions. And he actually admits that he stole. You know, I mean, this is why so many people out there should be questioning what's really going on. Yet the average liberal just puts their fingers in the ears and screams Putin apologist. Meanwhile, half the world are now signing up to the Russian economic bloc because of Biden. Not so much because of what's been offered by BRICS, but simply because of Biden.
Yeah. Hey, this is just kind of a palate cleanser for a second. This is what happens when you pick on like a girl, all right? When a man picks on a girl. Done.
Oh, he got blasted in the next century.
Yeah, dude just got dropped like a bag of rocks.
See, that's what happens. That's what happens when you mess with someone's girl. That we should get more of that. We should have more of this. I'm tired of.
If he was in Red Dead Redemption, Seth would be double barreling him.
Yeah. Yo,
I could see that happening. I could see that happening right now, and it's hilarious.
Remember when you walked in on that fight in the bar and you just went BAM!
Like, oh,
pieces of head was just going everywhere.
FO, right?
FAFO.
Sorry, FAFO. Sorry, man.
Nah, you good.
But it's just so crazy. I mean, like I said, there's a rise in vigilantism that is hardly getting reported on. There was recently a guy walked into a, I think, was it robbed somebody at Target, and as he was coming out, somebody went bam straight in his face.
Yeah. Apparently, do you know where or have you guys heard of Eagle Pass, Texas?
Not.
I know the state of Texas has removed the federal government from Eagle Pass and taking control of the popular border crossing.
Yeah.
So they're actively moving in and removing border control.
Because they're not border control. He
Yeah,
called
you know what I mean.
What do you call it? What did he call them? You know, I think he called them greeters.
Imposter.
They're acting like greeters, yeah. Like greeters from Walmart, I think that's what they said.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But when you're losing, like, when the left are losing people like Jimmy Dore and Bill Maher, you know it's gone too far, right? They suddenly realize the writing's on the wall. They're going along, you know, to rise the ranks in the working class. They suddenly realize that the Democrat Party has got, no, you're white, we don't care about you. We don't care. But thank you for support and give us $5 this week, you know? I mean, I had Nancy Pelosi email me asking for $5 for some fucking senator somewhere just because I commented on their page. But how did they get? So if you comment on somebody's page now, Facebook gives them your email. How fucked up is that?
It is weird.
I've never seen nobody. I've commented on hundreds of pages and nobody's ever emailed me and said, "Hey, thanks for your contribution. Now, would you like to make a $5 contribution?" Like, nobody's ever done that. And I run a Facebook page. I never get your names and emails. So how come some buttfuck senator I've never heard of gets my names and email off Facebook?
Mm-hmm. Hey, are we allowed to talk on YouTube about the jab?
Unless you're saying it's safe and secure, I think they're going to eventually catch up with you.
Because apparently there was a hearing today. It's just 7 hours ago.
Right,
MTG posted it on here about Peter McCullough talking about injuries caused by that. Apparently, spike protein now is in 3,400 peer-reviewed papers and growing, is proven to cause heart damage and myocarditis.
Yeah, and guess who just released a pill for myocarditis?
Pfizer?
Ta-da!
Oh, God.
Cause the problem, still the solution, right?
Yeah.
Allegedly. Like Bill Gates with his polio polio causing flu vaccine and then sells polio vaccines in India. How does a vaccine cause a disease, Bill? That's a crime against humanity, isn't it?
Yep.
Roll up the sleeves. I'm a chicken neck little faggot, and I'm divorced.
Jeez.
But I'm still gonna. My name is Bill Gates. You are gonna take that jab. You're gonna make me rich. Yeah.
We're getting flagged for that one.
We're getting flagged for that one.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Hello, Portland.
Sorry.
Seattle, where
Appalachian.
Bill Gates is hiding.
I had to let it out because I was so frustrated. I'm like,
yeah, but you can't say that kind of stuff on YouTube, man.
I know, because like he's on the list, and you know those people on the list are very protected.
Well, if you don't hear from me, if you don't hear from me in 3 days, you know what happened.
You got Hillary Clinton.
You got Hillary Clinton.
for $1 billion.
Yeah. So today we were doing meetings back and forth with improving our company and helping out things. I walked in and where I had been sitting, somebody had taken my my name badge that was on the desk and wrote Josh Maxwell. And I was like, that's weird.
Somebody knows.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really weird. Later on, a buddy of mine, he told me what happened. I thought it was funny.
Mm.
So cool. But yeah, it freaked me out real quick.
Yeah. Like, look, I'm pissed because I invented something way back when I was in university for alternative energy project, and it's not. And I was told it wasn't viable. Later, I went bankruptcy, so I lost all rights, and now they're selling my. Now some company out of China is selling my invention. You know, I can't claim it, of course, because I lost all my rights and all my stuff was taken in the bankruptcy. But, you know, it pisses me off that your government can screw you over that much so easily.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
when you tell people, nobody cares. And it's like, wait till it happens to you, because this is what happened in Nazi Germany. People stopped caring. And every time somebody got screwed over, nobody cared because it wasn't them. And then suddenly, when it was their turn to get screwed over, suddenly they're the most important people in the world. And what do? Well, they did happen to have a few friends in New York to drop a dime or two on the Roosevelt campaign, but we don't have that luxury of rich mafia cousins.
Yeah, because if people knew we were in the mob and everything, they wouldn't dare touch us. Like, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. This government is, when you have
Wait, what?
mafia figures on YouTube calling Biden a criminal, take their word for it.
Yeah.
They're in the know.
Here's an idiot lady. Check this out.
And who's your favorite Marvel Comics hero? Mine is Superman. Remember the motto? With great power comes great responsibility. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you.
Right. With great power comes great responsibility from Superman.
Remember, folks, this is what happens when you hire idiots to read teleprompters and then basically believe everything they say, because they will piss all over you and call it rain.
Yep.
Trust me, she's not that
I'm
arrogant
speechless.
or ignorant. She's just that arrogant. She's not that ignorant. They
Oh, that's
do
so
these
dumb.
things to cause you to talk about them instead of talking about how corrupt Joe is, or what's going on in Ukraine, where another reporter has been found face down in a lake with his hands tied behind his back and a bullet in the back of his head. I'm sorry, that was a Hillary Clinton suicide, right?
Yeah.
He killed himself. He tied his own hands behind his back and then shot himself in the back of the head. And then jumped in the lake. Because, you know, he was so depressed that everybody found out that he didn't like Zelensky.
Exactly.
But that's what they do. They create talking points. Look how people today are still sorting themselves into groups based on Harry Potter. You don't think that was an entire psyop done on purpose to get people to start sorting themselves into groups? They actually said, and I'm looking for the thing, we're moving into experiment 26, and I'm going, what? Well, I want to find out more about that because, geez.
Kevin Smith trending.
I know.
Oh yeah,
the
season 2 of his crap.
Masters of the Universe. That show sucks, dude. That show sucked in the old days. That show sucks nowadays. I just don't like it.
It wasn't that good, but it was the toys. It was the toys that made that show.
I didn't like it. I didn't really like. I've never liked He-Man, so I'm not a very good one to talk about it. Apparently Kevin Smith is running for the hills before the show even drops, so he probably knows something that will piss people off.
Oh, absolutely.
I could think of
So I think
another
it's-
thing he could be running for the hills from. And who knows? His name might appear on the list too. I would not be surprised.
Oh,
Well, we know Matt Groening's on the
I
list.
would not be surprised.
that would be crazy.
I don't know. We know it was alleged that Matt Groening flew with Bill Clinton on a couple of the flights, along with Kevin Spacey. That is the allegation, but I cannot see any allegation against Kevin Smith. Though a couple of the names on the list.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's a shot in the dark of it ever happening. I could be
one of the
wrong.
unnamed plus ones. Yeah, that could be wrong.
I
or
mean,
he's one of the-
I could be wrong, and I'm okay with being wrong. James Gunn kind
Joe
of surprised.
Bear,
Well,
Tom
James Gunn
Hanks.
did surprise me because of all his past tweets and everything. Dude was off his rocker, and
Yeah,
here it is.
he and
It's like,
Franco.
oh my goodness.
Allegedly him, Franco, Robert Downey Jr., Barack Obama. Though I've actually been told that Barack Obama's lawyer and Alan Dershowitz were actually also Jeffrey Epstein on Jeffrey Epstein's legal team.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So Dershowitz.
So David, do you really think? David, let me ask you a question. It's been bugging me for a few days.
Yeah.
Do you really think it's these celebrities that are coming out of the woodwork, or is it their PR, or is it their PR team?
I think.
Is it really them?
I think they think they're so untouchable now, and that they're so desperate for attention that they're letting people talk because they think it will burn out. Because the Clinton scandal burnt out. Because the Truman scandal burnt out. LBJ burnt out. Heck, we know now that JFK did some horrible crimes against people, including selling arms to the enemy and war profiteering and experiments on the black community over syphilis, and they still kiss his ass. So that's how far gone people are, and that is what they're counting on, the ignorant masses to protect their celebrities. Because when you are so empty, hollow, and purposeless in life, you cloak yourself with celebrities, right? You worship the shining star on the hill, right?
Right.
You saw this in the Great Depression, right? Ignorant masses going to the movies day after day after day because they've got nothing else to do, and they'll hand over a penny and sit there for hours. The theater guy won't charge them extra because that's their last penny, right? And the theater guy, nobody's coming to close him down. The government comes along and hands him a fistful of dollars. So people turn a blind eye, right? Hollywood was made uber rich during the Depression. They bought up all of LA basically and became uber rich selling off real estate.
I can imagine the heads, like the former heads of MGM, RKO, and a few others.
They got away with murder, okay? They got away with rape and murder and child molestation and all these other allegations, all true. You even had them admitting it, right?
Yeah, to our faces.
You had Walter Winchell write in his private memoirs about crimes where you had Hoover gangsters and women being young wannabe actresses bent over on a table in the middle of a nightclub and they'd come and just take turns. This is the kind of stuff that these people want. This is what and the only way they can get away with it is destroy the boom times, right?
Maybe.
See, experiment 25 was a sociology experiment where they overfed and over-entertained the population, gave them everything they want, every luxury. And eventually the people turned into fat, lazy slobs, and women all gaggled around the resources and refused to have children. This is experiment 25. Now they're moving on to experiment 26. What is experiment 26? How are they going to deal with the rest of the population? Well, if you look at the 1920s, if the 1920s were experiment 25, look, the 1930s with the boom times of the degenerates and the gangsters, that would be experiment 26. Where you had Meyer Lansky walking into the offices of, into City Hall in Chicago and murdering 48 people to avoid prosecution for money laundering and tax evasion.
That's
and getting
crazy.
away with it.
Hey, there's 4 people watching over on Rumble. Good evening,
Hey,
Rumble. How are
Rumble.
you?
I think it
How
was
are
in
you?
Murder Inc., which was later retracted, and I think the documentary doesn't got cleaned. But Meyer Lansky, one of the most prolific gangsters, and one of the most, he got away with brazen murders in Chicago. Witnesses disappeared even before they got to testify that they didn't see anything, even though they signed documents that said they saw nothing.
Oh, Seth, I was playing Watch Dogs.
Which one?
Oh,
the first one.
That's a good one.
It is. I was having too much fun, like just mowing down people. I had too much fun.
That's a good game.
Stealing all your bank accounts and then mowing you down after. Oh, what's that, officer? Oh, I'm a good Samaritan.
Yeah. See, the thing is,
I love that game. That game was fun.
Yeah, that game's good. They really stuffed up the mechanics in 3 because half
I
the
tell you,
people
yeah, 2. I think 2's better than 1. My personal opinion.
I was debating on that one. I was debating if I wanted to get it, but I'm like, no, let me play the first one and then I'll see, and I'll ask around to see if 2 is really worth
But does
getting.
it have a minigun? Doom has a minigun.
Minigun.
Yeah.
Number 2 does have a heavy machine gun. It's not a minigun, but it's a heavy machine gun.
Nice.
It's a lot of do.
That's an improvement on most games, considering most games don't even have a proper machine gun.
I'm gonna have way too much fun with that.
The one thing I like about 2 that I don't like, well, I mean, it's not an option in 1. It's a new feature. Is in 2 you get a drone or a like a quadcopter or a like a little wheel drone.
Yeah.
So you can either you can hit the quadcopter and like go up high and hack stuff, and then or you can get the wheel drone and go through like vents,
which they later carried over into the Division instead of Watch Dogs 3, which is weird. It's weird that they took out some of the good mechanics in 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I played that game for 4 or 5 weeks, and I hated it. Watchdog Legion was so bad.
You had given it a good try.
I really did. We played quite a bit of time. I would say, I think we put 20 hours into it.
Plus all the time offline you spent trying to find all the good recruits.
Yeah. Mom said, good night, gents. Time for Gutfield. All right. See you, Mom.
All right. Yeah, Gutfield's on fire. He's going to burn it up. He's been ripping into him over Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
And the hypocrisy.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. So, yeah, fun stuff. I figured Lape would be here. He said something about his dogs were eating grass.
Well, it's a bad sign when dogs are eating grass.
Yeah. I need to go eat some grass. My belly just making noises. What kind of system do you have, Anime? Or what are you playing? What are you playing that on? PlayStation?
Steam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have the I play it on controller. So
Oh, cool.
Driving, I'm liking the driving mechanics. The gun mechanics I'm liking. Still getting used to the hacking. Like I'm still getting used to that on in certain places.
One thing I like about that game is you get to be a vigilante. So like when you see crime, like you can go like go at it. The one thing about that I don't like was when you find crime, you have to let them commit the crime. You can't
can't pre-crime them.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
that did feel a little strange to me because it's like,
yeah,
he's setting up right there.
Yeah,
He's
like
right
I know who the guy is. I know what, whatever, and I find him. However, I can't do anything until after he's committed the crime.
Even if it's murder.
Exactly. I have to let them murder the guy. Then I can jump in there and get him.
It's actually funny how it still rewards you despite killing the guy.
Yeah.
That's still funny to me. I have expected it to like put me in the negative, but like, nope, it's positive. I'm like, oh,
I got
so
some
I
pop
can't
culture
kill the
news for you.
criminals. Okay.
Top Gun 3 has been announced to be in development with Paramount and Warner.
Why? We don't need that, dude.
Because Tom Cruise needs $1 billion. That's why.
I reckon.
Oh, it's taken down now, but I did see a snippet of Fairly Odd Parents, a reboot.
That
It's legit because I saw Butch Hartman's name on it. I'm like, there is no way. And now I don't give a shit that the characters are black and everything. That aside, I don't give a shit. What worries me is how they're gonna do all the other characters. I'm terrified of what they're gonna do to Mark Chain. I'm terrified of what they're gonna do to.
Okay, at the BAFTAs, Legally Black. You know Doctor Who. A group known as Legally Black forced BBC to put a black actor in charge of Doctor Who last year. They took credit for doing it, and they announced that they're going to take over 4 more shows this year and turn the entire cast black. And like, dude, they're doing it in front of our faces, and people are just sitting there taking it like chumps, and they wonder why their life is miserable.
Oh, and they also changed the name of Dimsdale. They changed it to Dimadelphia. I'm like, you just killed the illusion and that world by doing that. The reason why Simpsons works is because it's actually funny, and it makes sense in its own way. We're all aware that Springfield is an actual real place. We're all aware of that. But this is not even close.
This is the bullshit that the real racists, and they've always been the real racists, have been always about. And that is taking anything and everything they can as a group. They have a group identity. They don't have individual identity. And that they've always enslaved, stole, murdered their way up the ladder. Every civilization they've encountered, they've destroyed. That's what collectives do. They've not. You heard about hunters and gatherers, right? You do history. They start you off with basics about hunter gatherers, right? They never tell you about the parasites of history. They're never going to educate you about the parasites of history. They're the ones who have always destroyed civilization. And every successful civilization has had the problem of what happens when their borders are flooded. And it's always the same, whether it's the Mongols, the invasion of Rome from North Africa, you name it. Nobody's ever come up with a solution, because you'll always have that class of people who say you're racist if you don't let them in. And that they know that it's going to destroy civilization. They don't care, because they point to the fall of the previous civilization and say, we wouldn't be here if they were still around. You know what I mean? They think another glorious civilization will rise in its place. But here's the thing. Think about where technology how fast technology advanced in the last 200 years since the steam engine, right? But what if instead of Rome falling, they embraced the steam engine then, instead of saying, no, we're going to go with slaves? Where would we be today if that civilization had not been undermined and destroyed by the parasite class and slavery?
Who knows?
Exactly. But I think it would be pretty much far more advanced than it is today. And Elon Musk is saying that we can't keep doing this, that if you look at each collapse of civilization, they've gotten closer together and lasted, right? Civilizations are lasting shorter and shorter. They're collapsing more often. We can't keep collapsing, because rebuilding takes longer. They rebuild and soon after collapse.
Yeah. A lawsuit has been filed in Illinois to remove Joe Biden from the ballot, alleging under the 14th Amendment, Joe Biden has given aid or comfort to enemies thereof through his open border policies.
Yeah, well, they should have done that with Obama over the aid to Gaza.
Yeah.
Or the drone, or charge Obama with war crimes for the aid for the drone strikes in Afghanistan on civilians.
Yeah.
Or LBJ and McNamara for war crimes for plotting the Vietnam War to sell trucks to the army. Heck, the only reason why we know about this is because we have mass communication.
Yep.
That's why they want to control the internet.
And plus, we know people who have lived in that, who are still here with us, thankfully, that lived in that era.
But that list is going short, and those documentaries will disappear eventually off the internet. Once the internet control bill is accepted by the UN and all the chumps sign up for it, they'll just start taking over servers, and even public domain stuff like Mickey Mouse will disappear, because Disney will just say it's our property, and the government will just say yes, Mr. Mortimer Mouse. And if you don't know who Mortimer Mouse is, you don't know Walt Disney's true history.
Yeah. Hey, here's a good topic. Chair of House Judiciary Committee Jim Jordan launches inquiry into Fannie Willis's lover Nathan Wade after it was revealed that he'd been paid over $650,000 of taxpayer money to act as special assistant and district attorney to prosecute Donald Trump in Fulton County.
Oh, hell!
Yeah. Special assistant.
Yeah.
Chief in charge of fisting, right?
And apparently they've been going on let's see. There's more to that. Sorry. Wade, a private attorney, never prosecuted a felony case before. Wade also billed Fulton County for at least 2 meetings with the White House, expenses that were directly approved by Fannie Willis, raising suspicion that the prosecution had been done in collaboration with the White House counsel's office. The two are also alleged to have taken lavish vacations together, including trips to Napa Valley and the Caribbean.
Oh, so they've been visiting the
White House.
No, Napa Valley. That's That's
Well, yeah,
Newsom.
but I'm just saying, like they're
Yeah.
visiting
They're
the White
taking
House,
orders
getting
strictly from Joe,
information
yeah.
so that they know who to go after.
Yeah. No, who
That's
they got
massive.
permission to go after?
It's such a travesty that Jim Jordan got screwed out of the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, well, the current speaker was the problem is there isn't enough popular Republicans to oust the neocons yet, so they had to get half his foot in both camps. He's a Zionist, but it's the world we live in. If you're not with the Zionists, you're with the Islamists, and I'm neither on my side, so fuck them both.
Yeah.
That's the problem. None of them are on my side. Hey, I invented an electric engine. I haven't been. I can't afford a prototype to prove that it works, or even that, because it's a costly exercise to create anything these days. 20 years ago, you could go to an engineer and get a prototype of almost anything for a few $1,000s. Now you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars.
Could you imagine you, me, or Appalachian? We would get $650,000. The IRS would be kicking our doors down right now and demanding the money. They would subpoena us real fast.
Oh, look,
I'd love to have it though.
$600,000 for what? 4 hours work? I mean, God.
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
That is. Plus, this is the problem. You look at the writers in Hollywood. They get, they're not blue collar. They're getting $11,000 a week. Can you imagine getting paid $11,000 a week?
Oh,
man, that would be awesome.
Heck, would paid $11,000 a month would be awesome.
That would be
and they
awesome.
have the audacity to ask me to turn my book into a series of scripts for a TV show before they'd even, and to hire an animator to do a short just to consider looking at my book for a TV show. And I didn't even ask them to do this, right? But there are agents out there every day. They're trying to find some obscure book somewhere. Unfortunately, I admit, I'm not a bestseller, so I count it as obscure author, because they know they can acquire the rights really cheap, bury it in pre-production, wait for the rights to expire, and then make the TV show. Just use your dialogue for AI or whatever, and just pretty much nobody cares, right?
Yeah.
It's just another way for them to get their hands on more material for their AI machine, right? They get you to do all the work, pay you nothing, make all the promises, and it's getting ridiculous. But that's how desperate Hollywood is, right? They want AI. They want to pull the ladder up on as many people as possible. Because you look at the economy, with trillions of dollars being pumped into the economy, there should be lots of success somewhere, but there isn't. There's only like a handful of success.
Yeah. I remember a few, like 4 years ago, but we were all living on a success train. We were all making good money. We had nothing to worry about, because it's like, hey, look, all of our problems are being fixed and we can live a bit more comfortably than before. Now it's like, the writing's on the wall. That thing is going to crash real hard. It's going to crash.
They want you desperate. They want you begging for scraps. Because they're so empty inside that their joy comes from other people's misery.
I had a few people come to me in private. They were like begging me to quit. Like, dude, the government's paying us this much money to stay home. I'm like, no, I'm not taking the bullshit money. You guys can go ahead. If you want to screw your life up and live off the government and be the government's bitch, be my guest.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it. I'm still gonna work my pay. I'm still gonna earn my shit.
There
The only
I've
handout
heard
I'll ever ask
stories,
is the
yeah.
tax returns. That's the only
Yeah,
tax
I've
return
heard-
I'll ask.
Yeah. I heard stories, right, that in LA they were paying companies, right, $1,000 a week to stay open because they wanted to, because they, in California government paying shops $1,000 a week stay open because of the crime, to try and stop them from leaving California. They're offering $1,000 a week.
Oh, boy.
They're so incompetent, right? They want you fat, lazy, and miserable, but when it get, I don't understand it. What Gavin Newsom, right?
Oh, I watched that debate. He's a joke.
Why do liberals think he's so good? And then you think, no, they don't watch any of that. They don't watch the performance. They watch the highlights.
They don't
on Jimmy
read.
Kimmel.
These people are so illiterate and they don't read.
Yeah,
They just vote because it pertains. They just vote like, oh, this is going to do this, this, and this. Yes, I'm going to vote. But they don't read the finer print of things. They don't read it.
No, but they don't understand that they keep getting told by the community organizers that it's the right. If you look at the local newspapers, particularly in LA or Portland, they keep telling you how the right is destroying the economy by hoarding the wealth, and that we must increase the taxes. And the gullible idiots, that's all they see. They're so single issue, whether it's women with abortion or divorce or whatever. They're just so single issue. They see and look at nothing else. And that, my friend, is where civilization ends, when people cannot see past their own selfish interest.
Yeah. Hey, 8 minutes ago, bombshell report, inside source reveals the Joint Chief of Staff Chairman, General Mark Milley, delayed National Guard response to January 6th, then lied about it.
No kidding.
No kidding. Oh, my goodness.
Mark High Heels Milley, who recently quit because it came out that he was on a certain list.
Oh, Lord.
Even though I don't think he was ever accused. I think somebody just said, hey, are you on that list? And boom, next he quits. So maybe he's on the list. But this is the sort of empty, hollow people they are. They just go along with whoever is in power, thinking they'll get promoted, that they'll get advantage over their neighbors, that they'll get, that they're sitting in their $3 million home in Silicon Valley thinking, oh, I have the government to thank for this home, And no, you don't. You have the people who worked hard and paid taxes for that home, that you basically voted for robber barons to give you money for your vote. And now that they don't need you anymore, you're crying because that cheap maid that you hired and abused is now bringing in 50 of her cousins to take your property off you. And I warned you, when they, first it was the Catholics, you didn't care. Then it was the communists, you didn't care. Then it was the Jesuits, and then the Seventh-day Adventists and the Lutherans, and you didn't care. But you certainly cared when they came for the Jews. But,
And then you mega cared when they're like, hi, we're here for you.
Yeah.
The people
Speaking of them, did you guys see where apparently a tunnel was found in a synagogue?
Yeah. There's a bizarre story going on, that they were performing what do you call it, where they do the snip.
Circumcision?
I would have ran out of there. I would have ran out of there real fast.
They were performing.
I feel bad for the people who attend those.
Now, here's my theory. That's a big distraction. What was really going on is that they have been illegal, that they have been hiding illegals from Israel, people who fled Israeli, what do you call it? Military service in Israel, that they've been hiding people who are avoiding military service in Israel.
Dang. And
that's what those tunnels were really doing to those apartments. And they were expanding and apparently the explosions heard, that was them knocking out walls to expand the tunnels into the basements of other buildings. So apparently a lot of buildings in New York have a hidden sub-basement, in building when you do it's called a floating basement, when a floating foundation, it's hollow.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the building has to float on semi-solid bedrock instead of when the bedrock's not hard enough. So they tunnel into these places and they've got floors because they set up camps in these floating basements of buildings.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I think they've been hiding people avoiding military service in Israel. But apparently, in order to have an Israeli passport, you have to do military service, and those who got military, those who got American and Israeli passports, they can, if they're not found, well, the Israeli government has often let them off. So that's why these young men have been in hiding, and that's why they're so angry about being found out, because now the Israeli government knows where they are.
Yeah.
And where they've been hiding.
Well, guys, I am kind of out of it. I'm ready to go to bed. I keep yawning, and I'm not really engaging in conversation.
It's fine.
Tomorrow morning, coffee and gaming.
How are you feeling, by the way? Like
I feel great. Better? I feel great. 100%.
You had me worried. You had
oh yeah, dude, I was rough.
Worried.
Oh, yeah.
Last if I get like worked up or something, I'll start coughing. But other than that, like I feel great, and it takes like a lot to get me coughing. But other than that, like I'm good.
That's
great. Tomorrow morning, coffee and gaming. Better. Thank you. 7 a.m. We're gonna just hang out and play some video games. Also, I am off on Monday because it's Martin Luther King Day. So, yay, Martin Luther King.
I'm off that day too.
Cool. Well, we're gonna be live.
So Tuesday, I'll be live with Dead Space.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, you'll get a link on Monday morning if you want to. I mean, it's probably too early for you, but whatever.
Damn it, that didn't feel good.
Nice. Well, you go stretch that out. We're gonna go.
The center of my back, the center of my back popped. I'm like, nice. That part rarely pops. I'm like, oh, that. I don't know if that felt good or felt bad, but we'll see.
Well, while Anime Night destroys his back and needs to go to a chiropractor, we're going to take off. So buy David's book. Check out all of our links down below. We'll be live tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. right here on YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch. And you guys have a great night. Take care, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Goodbye! Bye-bye.
Good day, sir.
Later, dudes.
Good night, Jimbo.
Hell, I got to go.
Peace out.
Burn in hell, New World Order. Fuck you. You, New World Order. You, Bill Gates.